let's talk about the tribe that vibes, and specifically your tribe. So, one of my Club Phoenix members actually asked me this week about how to build a community, how to surround yourself with people, especially when you're on a personal growth journey. And it actually took me a while for me to process this question because the way that I wanted to answer it doesn't seem very nice on the surface because there's a lot of talk about how you are the average of the five people around you and that you have to start to be selective about who it is that you want to spend your time with, which also means that probably you're going to end up dropping some relationships that no longer serve you. And this can be really difficult and it can feel really cruel. But what I have realized is that when you are changing as a person, if you are not surrounding yourself with other people that are committed to personal growth, to really uncovering some of the more difficult parts of themselves that are causing them suffering, spending time around people who are complacent can become deeply dissatisfying. And what I found is that I can't really be around the people that I used to spend a lot of time with who just have defaulted to complaining about their lives rather than doing something about it. And there's a difference between complacency and contentment. I do want to be around people who are content, who are really happy with who they are. And you can tell when someone is putting up with something as opposed to really living in their lives and being present. So, having gone through a couple of retreats this year, having been with a lot of different people in different settings, what I've realized is that the people who I prefer to spend time with, that really inspire me and that really help me feel alive and that I feel like I'm with my people, aren't necessarily the people who have it all figured out or who even have it the most put together or the most fit. It's the people who show up radically themselves, who are moving through their fear, their anxiety, their hesitation, regardless of having that fear, and showing up anyway and willing to be a little bit messy doing the work. Because the people who sit in their bubbles and like to pretend that they have all control, that they have their lives together, yeah, maybe they are, they have this perfect persona and stuff, but then they show up and they're so afraid to do anything that's outside of their comfort zone. And you could feel the energy. They're the people who show up like with airs. They're just, they might look like physically put together. Maybe they have a lot of money or they have a lot of status, but then they're feeling really insecure and they don't want to change any part of their life because it would put them back into that beginner mindset. And those aren't really the people that I want to vibe with. And so when it is that you are on this growth journey, it's not about looking for the people who are just so elevated and great and like doing all the things. It's not necessarily about that. It's about finding the people who are willing to be as fearless, as courageous, as raw, and as authentic as you are willing to be.